Let's take a look at my 2026 reading journal all set up. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and I want to welcome you back to my channel. I want to thank you all so much for choosing to watch this video today. So yes, today I'm going to be flipping through my 2026 reading journal. I am just about finished with setting up all of my annual pages, all of my challenge pages, and I'm ready to actually start the January setup. I'm not about to do that yet. I'll give it another week, take a little break, and then I'll jump into that. But I figured let's go ahead and do a full flip through because I did film quite a few setups on my channel for this journal. I will have my reading journal playlist linked down in the description box. You can find all of those videos in that playlist. But there were actually several spreads that I did not film on camera. So I will go through those. I will also kind of chat a little bit about how I plan on using the spreads and things like that. So before we get started, this is an Archer and Olive 8x8 journal. This is the storybook journal. I got this when it was part of the Bring Back the Favorites. However, they have since added this to their everyday collection, which means it is one of the journals that may get restocked once it sells out. And I believe this one is also available in various sizes on their website. You can just go to the everyday collection to find it, or just search storybook. I do have an affiliate link, which I always have down in my description box, and I do have a 10% off discount code. That code is AGWP. So yeah, I decided to go for the 8x8 for the first time. For the past few years, I have been using a B5 reading journal, and y'all, I really enjoyed setting up and decorating the 8x8. Maybe just because it was a little bit of a change, but I really did enjoy it. So I decided to go with a Alice in Wonderland themed reading journal. I definitely kind of went heavy on the Alice in Wonderland stickers and things like that throughout the setup. When I start getting to the monthly setups, I'm still going to keep with that theme. Some months might not have actual characters and stuff from Alice in Wonderland, but I think I'm going to be pulling inspiration from the story for some of those spreads. So I think it'll be fun. All right, so I did set this up with you guys on camera. It was part of the very first video where I kind of went over brainstorming how I plan to set everything up. I did tape 2 pages together. It doesn't quite give me the 3D effect that I had hoped for, but it's fine. I wanted to do the little keyhole here and then kind of show something through it. I did add a quote over here. It just says, "Imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality." And then this is a sticker I got from a ephemera pack from Michael's. That was Alice in Wonderland. All right. This one I also set up with you guys. It's my ratings guide. In previous years, I had created an acronym and wanted to get all fancy with my ratings. I'm going back to basics. I don't want to say feelings 100%, because I do think a little bit more than just how the book made me feel, but I'm still keeping it simple. So I just have a basic kind of rating guide. And then I made a little pocket. It is a little pocket, and I just have some thin strips of paper in here. This is if I ever need to add anything else to reference. So if I want to do like a spice rating or anything else, I can just add it to one of these cards and put it back here. You never know. It's a long year. This I used some, it's not really vellum. I guess it kind of is vellum that I got from Sterling Ink. That's what I used for this. And then this came from some pieces of craft decorative paper that I got from Cora Korea Craft. So this is a little bit of a hodgepodge, but I love how this turned out. This I did not do on camera, but I did share with you guys previously. It's my reading goals. So I kind of did this on Canva. I combined multiple images like the tree, and then I add the Cheshire Cat and some other little elements to kind of make it look like she's falling into the rabbit hole. And then I did stamps here. I have the little white rabbit over here, basically because he fit there. Because at this point he's already down in the rabbit hole. And then I just did these like shapes here, diamond shapes, and I stamped 1 through 75. 75 is probably not my reading goal. What I strive to hit every year is 52, and then anything after 52 is fine by me. I have read about 60 books thus far with another couple of weeks left or a week and a half left in the year. So that's kind of my average. I think in 2024, I got 70, 71. So I don't know. Who knows? I could read over this. It's fine. I just felt like this is probably going to be the higher end that I would read. So that's the reason why I stopped at 75. Plus I wanted room to decorate. I don't really do very many reading goals. So my reading goals is to read 10 books that I own, finish 6 series, complete 4 challenges or readathons. This one should be really simple for me to do. Oh, and I didn't mention, I do my reading goals. So this is kind of like books read. What I'm going to do for each book that I read, I'm going to put a little washi dot sticker. I have some of these rolls. Let me see if I have, yeah, I have these rolls that I bought from like Temu years ago. And I'm like, I need to start using them because they're taking up space. So let's use them. And I just designated a different color. And this is going to tell me the format and how I either purchased it, whether it was free or whether it was borrowed. So that way I'm also keeping track of where I'm getting these books from. So my choices are borrow and ebook. So that's going to be mostly from the Libby app. Audio, borrow, that'll be from Hoopla or Libby. Physical, and this is something that I own. I usually don't borrow a physical book, so I don't even have an option for that. An ebook, and that has a $sign, so that's the one that costs me money. So even if it's Kindle Unlimited, because that is a paid subscription, that is going to be included there. Audio with the $sign. Again, if I'm getting the audio through a subscription service such as Audible or anything like that, even Spotify, I'm counting that as money signs. And then a free ebook, because you get, like, as a Prime member from Amazon, you get a free book at the beginning of every month that you can choose to download. Plus sometimes there's like Stuff Your Kindle Day. So I want to keep track of that. I'm really bad about reading all those free books that I have stuffed on my Kindle, but I do want to start getting through those. So this is just like a quick way that I can do like a quick visual of what I'm reading the most of. I will say it's going to be mostly ebooks from Kindle Unlimited, which is going to be the paid one. So this is my, like, what I used to call my gallery wall. It still kind of is my gallery wall. So basically, as I read a book, I will print off the cover and then I would do the rating. So that way I can just see everything in 1 or 2 spreads. So instead of doing like a chart format, I just prefer to do it like this. I like seeing the covers. For the most part, I'm going to be printing out the covers anyway for reviews and things like that, so it's not going to take much time. I'm likely just going to print my covers off once a month at the end of that month, and then that's when I will put everything on here. I just used some images from Canva. So I got like a background. I think it was like swirling chocolate or swirling brown background. I thought it looked like a tree, and then I just put random images, clip art images in there as well. And then I, put a silhouette of Alice and a rabbit in there. So that way it just kind of gives the illusion of falling. And I liked it because I was able to put the frames kind of every which way. So yeah, for the most part, some of these frames are a different size, but I'm going to do all of my photos the same. So these will have a little bit of white space, but that's fine. And then I did 2 pages here. I think this is about 80 books. Yeah, because it's 20 books on each page. That should be more than enough. This I don't think I shared with you guys. Again, I kept with the same kind of background that this was. I have her falling again. She's nearing the end. Then I put books. So what I did was I printed everything out on Canva with the exception of this bookshelf. Then I cut around this. So this bookshelf is drawn directly onto the page, but everything else is a big sticker that I placed down on here. That's just how I wanted it. I wanted to draw the bookshelf mainly because I was worried about when I colored the books, if I was coloring it on sticker paper, how that would look. So that's the reason why I decided to go this route. But I also put some books here, and then I put images on the books, and that is going to be my color code system for my genre shelfie. You could see I was going to be coloring the entire book, but I just didn't like the way that looked. Unfortunately, my two favorite genres have like the ugliest coloring on it. So then I just kind of went around the perimeter. There are some that right now do not have any colors on them, but that's fine. I will do that when I get to this. This little chick here, that's for chicklet. I don't even know if they have that anymore, but that's what we used to call those like silly like genres, like female lead characters. It's like from back in the day. But yeah, so that's kind of how I'm going to do my genre. So I already have all of these mild liners pulled aside. I'm using mild liners this year and not Tombows because I need my Tombows. And I want to keep these always in a separate little bag, which I think I moved it off to the side. So that way I already have these colors set aside for this book. So, I mean, yeah, for this journal. So that way I'm not using the wrong colors. No promises will be made. But yeah, I drew all of these myself, all the books. I basically just drew lines and then a round top. And then I just added some random stickers to kind of look like, you know, little decorations on my bookshelf. Yeah, because in the cartoon, when she's falling down the rabbit hole, you see books and stuff. So that's why I figured I would do that for the bookshelf. But I only needed these 2 pages. So I don't remember how many books are on here. I will say I should have enough, even not even having to use these, but I just put those there anyway. I think with just these, it's more than enough. So I decided how I'm going to do my series tracker. This was something that I just kept trying to go back and forth with because I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. So I had decorated this a while back. I have the doors. I think you guys can kind of see the doors there. I did them very, very light. And the reason why I did them light is because I wasn't sure if I was going to do the chart format, which I can kind of show you guys what I'm talking about in my series journal. So in my series journal, I did this. This is what I mean by a chart format. It's actually writing the title of the book and then just kind of having 1, 2, 3 and checking it off. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that when I first set this up, but then I decided I don't want to track every series, and at least in here, because I'm tracking it in here. So this is kind of like my TBR. These are the ones that I'm going to try to prioritize. So I don't know if I put any of these books on my 26 and 26. A few may show up there, but these are kind of like just as much of a priority as my 26 and 26. I have a hard time looking sometimes at the series title and remembering what books those are for. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but there are definitely some series that have these weird series titles that to me don't match the books. So I put the first book of the series here, and then I put the number of books that are within that series right next to it. So you see Throne of Glass. I put P for the prequel. So that's what I'll do there. So I have 3 more books to read in that series. I just feel like this is so much easier for me to kind of know what books to finish rather than writing it down. Because like right here, this is like the Plated Prisoner series. But it's like, you know, I don't know. I guess that one is probably a bad example, but yeah, I think some of you probably know what I'm talking about. So I like this. And then this is my key. So I already colored in gray the pre-2026 ones. Once I decide which ones I read this year, I'll figure out what color. I think I'm just going to do one color for all of 2026. I'm not going to do it by month or anything like that. And you can see I only have a room for a few more. If there's only one book left in the series, the exception is this one. And this one, because I don't know if this one's coming out yet this year. But if there was only one book left in the series, I put it in here. So this is my 26 and 26. I had to use some undo, and that got a little nasty. I got to figure out how to make that look less nasty. I'm holding this up so that way hopefully you guys can see it. So there's a lot of books I want to read. What I ended up doing was putting some books that I own. So like I own Magnolia Parks, I own Belladonna, I owned Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, 5 Broken Blades, The 13th Child, A Fate Inked in Blood. Those are the ones that I own. I also own like Throne of Glass and some other ones, but these are the ones that I own. And some of these I own the entire series for. I only put the first book on here because I haven't started reading the series yet, so I don't know if I'm going to want to continue, but those definitely made it in my 26 and 26. There are some other ones that I have that I'm not sure if I want to read, so they didn't make it. Then I added the ones that I only have like one book left in either the series, the duology, or what have you. So like Mother of Death and Dawn, Eldritch, I don't know. I think that's it. And then there were a few where I'm really enjoying the series, and the next book in the series has come out, but it's nowhere near finished. The series isn't. So like Fallen Stars, I need to read that one. Heather Moore, that is coming out in 2026. Broken Dove is coming out in 2026. Finley Donovan, the latest one, is coming out. So these are also like to remind me, hey, these books are coming out. Don't forget about them. So this is really a hodgepodge of a collection. I could have easily put like 50 books on this page. And then there's just some books that really intrigue me that I want to read, like The Sword of Kaigan, if I'm saying that right. Definitely need to read Lady of Shadows. That is the one that actually made both. I don't know why Lady of Darkness is that one, but yeah. Or maybe that's like the second one. I don't know. I need to read the whole series is what I'm saying. So yeah, I got those on here as well. So that's my 26 and 26. I did film me actually like decorating this on camera, but I didn't film anything else. I did decide to add the star ratings to this. I had to put them beside it instead of under it just for space purposes. But instead of just doing a checkbox once I read it, I like to have the star ratings so that way I can see which one I filled out is the ones that I read. So I just printed out images here. So I wanted to do kind of like a pretty picture of the woods and then a more scary picture of the woods. I think I got all of this from Creative Fabrica. So this is going to be my 5-star reads, and this is going to be my DNFs. I'm going to just print the book covers and put them on here. I like how this turned out. Wanted to just keep it simple. I did this one on camera. This is my book battle. So I wrote the size here so I won't forget that. But yeah, I'm just going to print the book covers, put it in here. My favorite books of the month have the first quarter battle each other. Yeah, you get the gist. And then I left a blank page here. This might be where I put superlatives if I feel like doing it at the end of next year, because that's when I would do it. You know, we'll see. And then this is my challenges. What I think I'm going to do is maybe as I complete readathons for the month, I'll write them in here. And as I complete my challenges at the end of the year, I'll put like maybe the logos or something over here. That's how I'm thinking about doing this. But this is the cover page to introduce, hey, all of the challenges are coming up. So this is my Bookopoly board. I did do a setup on my channel of this where I went over all of the prompts that I created and things like that. After I did the setup, I did use some distressed ink and kind of colored this in like a tie-dye looking thing. And then I added the border just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to roll a dice every month and I'm going to put what I rolled here and it's going to land on a prompt. So I will write that prompt and then I will write the book that I have read to fulfill that prompt. And then that will also let me know where I need to start again when I roll the dice for the next month. I might put like a post-it on it. I have a lot of little skinny sticky notes. I could put one of those on there too. This was the last video that I did. This is the year of Guru, Joshi Corinne. She's the one that puts this all together. All of the prompts are done. This is a pocket that was way too shallow, but I made it work by adding washi tape. But I put all of the prompts here. So I have January through March, April through June, July through September, October through December. And the prompts are here. Now I gotta get this back in here. Everything's being difficult because I hit the record button. No, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I will write the actual prompt that I end up choosing because there's 2 prompts per month. I'm going to put the prompt here that I end up choosing because I'm not going to do both. I'm only going to do one. And then the book that I read for that prompt will go there. So that is that one. The prompts for the buzzword reading challenge, the prompt-based reading challenge, as well as the cover challenge has been released. It is from Books and Lala. So I have put all of the prompts here. I will link her down in the description box. She has a website where all of the prompts are listed. Basically, every month there's a prompt and you just have to read a book that fulfills the prompt. Like for January, the prompt is before or after, and then the cover challenge is internal internal body part, which actually shouldn't be that hard because like a skull would fit that. Yeah, for January, the prompt here is either first book of a series. That's gonna be so easy for me, or an overdone trope. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be reading a new series, so that's what I'll do. I'm gonna like start brainstorming. What I will be doing is probably just taking a pencil and writing in the books that I think I want to read for these prompts, because they'll be covered when I put a book cover over it. But that way I can kind of brainstorm in advance, pretty much almost for like the whole year, which can very well change. I will say, if you're interested in doing any of these challenges, Storygraph is a great resource. You can sign up for that. Love it so much better than Goodreads. But all of these challenges are on Storygraph. And what is great about Storygraph is people recommend books for each prompt. So if you're ever stuck on a prompt, you can literally just go to that challenge, click on that prompt, and then read everybody's suggestions. Okay, this one, I guess I need to slice down here. This one I did off camera. All of these stickers it's PET tape from Cora Korea Crafts. It came from the Alice box, which was primarily the inspiration for this reading journal. If I'm being honest, I got that box, and a lot of the images and stuff in that box, like this is like dark kind of look, like kooky type stuff. But I was like, this will be a fun journal. So this was kind of the inspiration. So I'm like, I have to use this. So the last time I filmed, when I set up this and this, I was like, okay, we're going to do a 2-page Adventures in Aldea spread, or Year in Aldea spread, which is part of the Magical Readathon. And then I'm like, I'm going to be doing a really big, probably 2-page spread in my Magical Readathon journal for that. So I'm like, we're just going to keep it basic. You can see I've already mapped it out. The reason why I mapped out the cover sizes and the prompt area is I wanted to make sure I wasn't covering it with stickers. But I'm going to pretty much do what I did here for the Adventures in Aldea. And the reason why I went with 1 page is because, like I said, I have a Magical Readathon journal, which I will do a flip through probably closer to January, if not in January. I decided to do a book bingo, but it's not one I created. Covers with Cassidy is doing a romantasy bingo. It actually started in October, but I'm not going to start it to until the first of the year. And the prompts are good. They're easy. I probably really even don't need to try too hard to hit some of these prompts, because I will probably hit most of them when I'm doing some of these other challenges. But what I did is I have this here, and then when you open it up, it's here too. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put the book covers here. Or what I might do is check it off, and then you flip here and the book covers are there. I might do it that way. I kind of like the way this looks without the book covers. So I think I'll just check it off as I do it, or maybe put like now I need a big circle. You know how when you have the bingo pen, that's what I want. I want a bingo pen. That would be really cool. So I think I might try to do something like that, and then I'll put the book covers here. So that is my idea for that. I need to do some more decorating here. You can see I put a few things here. I have a lot more decorative papers from Cora Korea Crafts, which is like where this rabbit came from. So I might just put some of that there. I don't know. I'll figure. That's nothing we need soon. And now we're coming up to the end, y'all, because this is my monthly stats section, and that's my monthly stats page. This I did on camera, and then I changed it. I put washi all around the edges. I changed the decorations. All of this stayed the same, but I liked the way this flowed better after this. I thought they look like they go together. I do have a blank page here because it makes me nervous sometimes not leaving a blank page. I have no blank pages after the challenge, but I think I have enough challenges to hold me over for this year. And then look, I've already started brainstorming how I think I want to set up my January. Just trying to figure out like what I want to keep on like 1 page, what types of things I want to, add for the month. That's still a work in progress. So you'll hear all about that during the setup. And then I have not added the title here. I knew doing the flip through I would be like, oh, I forgot to do that. This is going to be a title that's going to say book reviews. Again, I have one of those other little pieces of vellum or, I don't know, decorative sheets from Sterling Ink. And then here's my book reviews. There's a couple of things I want to include here. I still need to go back and add numbers because I wanted to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. It just helps me keep track to make sure I haven't missed any books and that they're all in order. Plus, having the numbers here will help when I go to add things to my gallery wall and things of that nature. So yeah, this is pretty much set up. The reason why, this is the first time I've ever set up my reviews in advance. And the reason why is because this year I have been horrible with doing book reviews. Scratch that. I have been horrible probably since August for doing book reviews. So I'm hoping that if I set something up, then it's not really going to take much effort. I can just come in here, kind of write down my thoughts on the book. It's a limited amount of space, not much pressure. So hopefully I will stay on top of it. So yeah, I've done enough templates for 40 books. I didn't want to do enough templates for 75 or 80 just because I wasn't sure if this is going to be too much room. Maybe I want to go a vertical route for the next one. I did play around back here to see what 3 would look like and what 2 would look like. I was just playing around. That's all I was doing here, was just kind of playing around, but I wanted it to still be usable just in case I read a lot of books and needed to use these pages. So I was still trying to make it usable. And then on this back page, this is where I'm putting my dimensions for the actual photographs. Or I'm sorry, for the book covers. So that way it's a quick reference. I was trying my hardest to make a lot of them around the same size. I think I failed miserably, but that's okay. I'll just be referring to this page a lot. So that's it, y'all. That is the flip through of my 2026 reading journal. I will be doing my January setup. It's probably going to be 2 to 4 pages. Not sure yet. I'm not sure if I want to do a readathon for the month of January just because, you know, it's like the first month of the year and I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of ongoing things. These I might just kind of use, like if I can find before and after that fits some of these other prompts, that's fine. So one book might fit multiple prompts, but I think I want to get, you know, a feel for how I want to do things. So I may not do a actual readathon in the month of January. If you're confused about what I mean by a readathon, it's pretty much like these challenges. It's just 1 month only, and it's usually like a pretty fun theme. A lot of people on BookTube create this. So a lot of those content creators have their own readathons for each month. And it's usually like a certain amount of prompts. If you read this many books, then maybe you'll reach this certain level. It's just a fun way to kind of get you into reading. And if you're new to my channel, the reason why I do so many reading challenges and readathons is because I need a lot of options, and a lot of these prompts give me options. So I hope I can, you know, do all of these. I've always been really successful with Year of Goober and for the Buzzword reading challenge. This is my first time doing the cover challenge. This is my first time doing a Bookopoly. I've never done, this is her first year doing the Romantasy Bingo. I have done Adventures in Aldea or the Year in Aldea. I haven't been that great this last quarter, but for the most part, I had been keeping up with it. But I just like having options, and these challenges kind of help me narrow down my huge TBR to books that fit those prompts. That's why I really like challenges. I really don't put too much pressure on myself to finish them, but I do happen to do a lot of the prompts in the month that they're assigned. So that's always a good thing, right? But like I said, there's no pressure. Reading is fun, and that's kind of how I see it. So we'll see if this is too many or not, but they make cute spreads. So we can just go with that. So there we go. You can see some of these pages are sticking out pretty far, but we are going to leave them as is because now I can easily find them when I need them. I also have some tabs that I thought about putting on the ends, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I'll figure that out after I start getting into this a little bit more to figure out whether or not I need it or not. But there we go, guys. So that is a flip through of my reading journal, plus a little bit of an explanation about how I plan on utilizing some of the pages with color coding and things of that nature. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. And like I said, I plan on doing probably a video a month of my setup of this journal. I don't know if you guys like to hear book reviews. I don't really do in-depth book reviews. So I don't talk about the synopsis or anything. I usually just talk about what I think about the books. So usually while I'm decorating, I'll do a voiceover with that. Let me know if that's something that you guys like, or if you really maybe a lot of you could care, like whatever. Just let me know, because I'm trying to figure out how to actually do this next year. So yeah, like I said, there'll be at least one video each month with this in it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have followed along through this series, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.